What is going on? It is time for another late night after hours heavy pour sports take and preview college football week 8 2025. T, are we live, man? Can you hear us? I see nothing. T's not with us. Hammer, how you doing?
Good, brother. How are you doing?
I'm phenomenal. Selena, how are you doing today?
I've had better days, but got a purring kitty in my lap, so I'm okay now.
That is good news. Hey, 22 million. We got 22 million reasons to be happy.
I mean, sure.
Do you believe it?
Those reasons produce. I don't know if I believe that or not. That's a lot of money.
You have 22 million reasons. I don't know what it's for yet.
Listen
Banner
here.
9, I'm telling you what it's for. Banner 9.
I'm just saying. Texas A&M spent $30 million a few years ago. How'd that go? I'm just saying, Rando. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just pointing out the fact that money doesn't translate to championships. That's all.
That's true.
I'm not negative.
We got Marcus Pope leading the way. We got the great white Pope just getting the boys ready. To be honest, I think 22 million is super exaggerated. We'll talk about this first, I guess.
That's the Pittsburgh Pirates payroll.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. I think I'm sure there's some nuance to it, or at least I believe there's nuance to it. Does it talked about on the basketball payroll? So I asked the question of does that mean it includes the coaching staff, right? And what they have, or does it include, hey, we signed Jasper Johnson, maybe he's not one and done. So is it like some of these football NIL deals where it's multiple, multi-year contracts? Who knows what it actually is? I'm kind of split on it because, when Goodman talked about it earlier a couple months ago, said, hey, there's $20 million tied up in Kentucky basketball. We can kind of discount it, whatever. Goodman is just, he's talking, he gets on X and just kind of runs his mouth sometimes. But then the Herald Leader puts it out there, Lexington newspaper, and they have the same agenda. They're trying to get clicks and whatnot and views. But at the end of the day, now it's like a local source. And now I think people believe it more. And it's one of those things where, hey, maybe good publicity, where it's like hey, Kentucky basketball got a bunch of money to spend. So if you want to make some money and play for a greatest college basketball program ever, you can do both. But it also does the same thing it did to Duke and Shire last year, where everybody clowned them, right? When they got bounced, you had the highest paid roster in all college basketball, and you couldn't do anything with it, right? So I don't know that I like it coming out like that. I don't necessarily believe it was truly 22 million. But I guess, like you said, Hammer, we'll find out what it actually relates to on the court. I'm super high on the team. I think it's kind of funny when people say you pay $22 million for role players. I think these dudes are studs. We got Jaden Quaidance, who's a top 5 prospect, right? Not a role player. But do you know, Hammer or T, what has it been floated out what Tennessee's basketball program NIL has paid for so far?
He's going through it.
Yeah, T's hurting right now.
I've heard between 8 and 10 million, but I'd have to actually do a little digging to confirm that that's the number. But I did just do a little digging on Kentucky, and it appears it's a $20.5 million revenue share that was allocated, and then additional deals pursued through the new Big Blue NIL Suite partnership with JMI Sports is how they're kind of laying it out. So it appears the number may be, in fact, solid, Rando. So if that be the case, then certainly they've outspent the football team. And with football being the cash cow, do you think that's where the money needs to go, is the basketball program? And that's a legitimate question. I'm not baiting you in anything here.
No. I think that's a fair point. Football is going to be a cash cow. I also think it's a fair point to be is this the donors? Is this the university? Mitch Barnhart saying hey, we know where our bread is getting buttered right now. Stoops is on his way out. Football, it's on the decline, but Mark Pope is on the up and up. Sweet 16 set records last year, had some losses he shouldn't have. And we would have liked to get past y'all in the Sweet 16 and continue on with that team. But at the end of the day, the fan base is all ball right now, all basketball right now, and they're down on football. So it might just be like, maybe I don't know. Who knows what it is, but it might be the like kind of kick in the ass for Stoops to be like, hey, you ain't getting this money, man. You might want to try to walk away or negotiate because your future here or there isn't one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and obviously Kentucky's one of the premier historical brands and programs in college basketball. I mean, I can sit here and give you all the crap I want to, but I can't deny facts that, it is one of the premier programs, true blue blood programs. And it would, I think there'd be a certain level of expectation around the program to be funded like that because, again, not throwing darts, but it's been a minute since Kentucky's won a championship. I mean, we're, 12, 13 years now. And that's unusual because,
2012, last Final Four appearance was 2015.
Yeah. With all the first and second round exits, that's absolutely not the standard that you guys are accustomed to. And as far as that goes, what everybody else is used to seeing either. So I certainly don't fault them for spending that kind of money. It's the highest basketball NIL budget in the country. So I certainly think it's probably, it's money well spent if it results in a championship. Nobody would ever put a price tag on, winning a championship. But I just wonder what it's going to look like down the road with whomever the new coach is coming in, and they see all this money being funneled over to the basketball program, and the football team's kind of getting crumbs compared to what the basketball players are. If you break it down, how much that is per player, because the football roster is so much bigger. What's the football budget going to, have to look like? Because I think that's going to impact what level of coach you're able to bring in is, well, what kind of roster can you get me? And you're giving the basketball team 20 plus million. How much am I getting to work with? So that's the only thing that I, from an objective standpoint, not wearing a team color, looking at it, is what does it set up for whomever the new coach is coming in to take over at whatever point in football.
So I think new coach would, and maybe not right away, it really depends on the hire. I think the hire is big. If he has an intro and he draws the fan base in like Mark Pope did and really just kind of flipped it back around and rejuvenated, like Cal is Cal. Cal's a Hall of Famer. He was always going to get good talent. But you mentioned the reason why he's no longer our coach is because of the NCAA tournament or the lack of NCAA tournament success in the last half decade.
That's right.
But I don't know if Cal was still here big donors. It was well known that there was a little bit of a riff there, the crafts and whatnot. So I don't know that Cal would have gotten this part so much money if there would have been outside money coming in out on top of the rev share. If he would have gotten the increased percentage. Selena, you can let me know what you think about that. I think a new coach comes in here and they're able to draw in a bunch of money to the program if it's the right guy, if he can really attract to the fan base. So Mitch has to, when Stoops is gone, Mitch has to kind of do the thing that he did with basketball and be willing to, whether it's take a flyer on Pope from BYU, who the fan base was pissed off at for a couple days. Then all of a sudden we realized, hey, this is the right guy for the job.
It's 12 hours, Rando. 12 hours. We were mad 12 hours. The next morning we woke up, we're like, you know what? Hell yeah, let's ride. From there, it's off to the sunset.
You're right. I mean, there was that night, I think we were on a space till like 3 a.m. and there was Ditch Mitch profile pictures. And I mean, it was loud. I felt bad for the Pope family, looking back at it now, like, man, if they got on X, they're like, these people do not want us in Lexington. But that narrative quickly did change. You're right. So I think just to kind of wrap this up, I do think new coach comes in, can potentially bring in the money, but you got to make a Kirk Cignetti hire. Like you mentioned last week, Hammer, you got to either hoping for a Power 5 coach to come in here and do great things, or like I said, maybe there's a coordinator out there who's playing top level SEC, Big 12, or coaching at that level. We'll see. But hey, whatever. We're stuck with the dude for now. So I guess we'll talk about what money he has to spend next year if he still happens to be here. But we do have. We'll get into football. Selena, what do you think as far as that rev share goes between football and basketball? We kind of talked about this on the All UK Ball Show. Agree with a good majority if you look at size of roster going to basketball right now, or do you think we should be focusing more on football because of what it brings to the school, right?
I don't know. I have to take my basketball bias out of it for a little bit. As Hammer said, football is the moneymaker for all of these schools, right? Like that's why we have much money. And I understand giving basketball a lot of money because it's also competitive too. And Pope is riding like the hot hand right now, right? Like Stoop's on his way out, or at least we hope so. Pope's got excitement going. I don't think you can continue doing that for the future. Just because especially if we bring a new coach in, they're going to need a different budget, and I think in order to be competitive. Maybe this is their way of saying, "Hey, Stoops, you need to leave." Maybe they're trying to force him out. I don't know, right? Like, but
collectively, do we believe in the Virginia Tech rumors?
I hope so.
Are we hoping? Dang, man. Richie been gone a couple weeks. He's firing off shots. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all BS. To be honest, I don't think all these tweets about it being a done deal. But yeah, you can only hope, right? Golly, if Mitch Barnhart gets bailed out twice, I mean, good for him. Good on him. He get lucky. But we'll transition to football. Tennessee, Bama. We actually got we're allowing another Vol fan on this. Actually, let me just share this chat real quick to everybody.
In your team.
But we'll go ahead and drop him in here. Juice talking Tennessee football, and I'm sure he's going to take some shots at basketball because he's popping off on X. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
What up, bro? How you been?
Doing well. Welcome to Heavy Four Sports by Border Rivals. No, T, can you hear us?
We can't hear you.
You can hear us. We can't hear him. But what do you think? What do you think about I know you had some comments, Juice, about the basketball NIL before we transition to football. 22 million seems like a lot. You said, I think on X, that you believe it to be true. Hammer did a little research. Potentially, it is more true than false. But what do you think about that budget? And you think it's worth it for Kentucky basketball compared to football?
I mean, I guess it's really just a wait and see type of thing. I'll be honest, I don't think it'll really take that long though to be able to tell if it's going to be worth it or not though.
I mean, yeah, there's going to be a lot of judgment just based off of our exhibition game. I got to get rid of whoever's echoing right now. We got to figure that out.
It's Juice's phone, I think.
Oh, you got AirPods or something, Juice?
Me?
Yeah.
Is it me that's echoing?
It might be going through the phone. But Tennessee, Bama, it's enough basketball for now. Tennessee, Bama this weekend, massive game. I know Tennessee fans thoroughly enjoyed Bama. How do you think it is this? How the game go this week? The victory. Bama, what do you think?
Me or Hammer?
I'm not sure what's happening. You were
I don't know what's going on. I think T's jacking us up. Hammer, what do you think? How's the game going to go?
Well,
nah, don't put that on me. That's not me.
Hey,
there he is. We've the first time we've heard you all show. There we go.
I have my mic muted. my
bad. Gotcha. Okay.
Go ahead, Hammer. I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, there's two things that I know about what's going into this game, and one is you have fun trivia question. Anybody know who has the number one scoring offense in college football right now?
Tennessee.
It'd be Tennessee. Anybody
They
know
have
who
first in a lot of
has
stuff.
the second highest sack and fumble recovery rate in college football?
Tennessee.
That would also be Tennessee. Selena's 2 for 2. But here's the problem. We're playing in a venue we hadn't won in 20 years against traditionally a team that doesn't lose at home, combined with the fact that they've only turned the ball over twice all year, and they play very disciplined. And that's something we did not do last week. So I think Tennessee can hang score-wise. I certainly think they can cover the 8-point spread. But to win this game, Tennessee has got to play disciplined football. We had 3 false start penalties at home last week. That is completely unacceptable. You cannot have procedure penalties in your own building. It's completely inexcusable. That is a lack of focus. That is a lack of discipline. And quite frankly, that's just, that's Pop Warner stuff, man. You got to be able to line up.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
You got to be able to line up.
Stoops football.
You got to be able to. You're an offensive lineman. I mean, my God, you look at the football. When the football moves, you move. It's simple. So, some very basic things that can be the difference in a game. And if we make those same mistakes against this team, it's not going to go well. So we have to win on third down, both sides of the ball. We got to get them off the field. It's a very efficient offense. We have to play discipline on defense, and we can't have those mistakes. If Tennessee can do all that, then they very much have a shot in this game. If they can't, no way.
T, what you think, man?
I'm with Hammer on the shooting ourselves in the foot thing. The offensive line, those penalties. And in fairness, like shooting ourselves in the foot has been part of Heupel's entire tenure. That's the one. That's probably my chief complaint with him. Like, we've got to get more discipline. So definitely looking for that. So you see McCurdy in our comments. Me and him were talking. We were texting earlier. I told him that the last report I saw, and possibly the big difference maker for us, is that Jam Miller is going to be out, the running back for Bama. That's really, really big for us. So if that's the case, then they're going to have to be throwing the rock a whole lot more. And everybody looks at the feast or famine thing, and Juice and I get into it a little bit about this. I'm okay with the feast or famine thing, and not that you can depend on defensive touchdowns like we had against Arkansas or turnovers like we had against Mississippi State. And I think I've mentioned it before, like we're going to have the famine in the passing game regardless, because we're missing our top 2 corners. So at least we can get some feast in there as well. And so if Jam Miller is out and they're going to be forced to throw the ball 40 times or something like that, I'm hope is not a COA. Hope is not a course of action, as we know. But I'll be looking for some more feast on the defensive side, because the pass rush is our strength. So if Jam Miller's out, that's what I'm looking for. But then big on the don't shoot ourselves in the foot stuff, because when we do that, that's when we let Mississippi State take us into overtime, or Arkansas stay in the game or whatever, or set Max Gilbert up to miss a game-winning field goal against Georgia. So we got to stop that.
So you talk about shooting yourselves in the foot. I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, hey, it can't happen. These guys are, big time football. Got to be disciplined, experience. But I mean, some of that kind of goes with how Heupel's offense plays fast, right? And sometimes you got to live with those things. Now, I understand being at home, like you can't. But if you're going to play fast and try to put the defense in vulnerable situations where they can't sub, they're getting tired, that's some things maybe you potentially got to live with, or you're like, nah, like you got to cut that completely out of the offense. Can't do it, especially on the road.
It costs us games, so you got to cut it out. Like if we were finding ways to, I mean, I guess theoretically we're finding ways to overcome it with Arkansas and Mississippi State, but that's also Arkansas and Mississippi State. Like not going to happen against Bama, and it didn't happen against Georgia. We did it against Georgia, and then we lost. So you got to cut it out. And also, like, we're no huddling, but our tempo isn't as fast as it was with Hooker. So it's not as fast as people think it is. It's just lack of discipline or, lack of mental toughness or whatever. You got to lock in. It's going to be loud out there. So we can't live with that, in my opinion.
Hammer, do you know what Tennessee's pace of play is?
I don't know the exact average time per play, but it's I would say it's well under a minute. I mean, it's probably in the 26 to 30 seconds time between plays. It's fast, and that's going to be key. I mean, is to be able to keep them from substituting. But I mean, it's like T and I just all that comes with not making dumb mistakes. Otherwise, you just you're giving them yards and giving them more time to rest.
But we don't necessarily have to be fast to not let them sub, though, right? We just don't sub, and that's what I was saying. Like we go no huddle, and I'm not trying to say that we don't go fast, but I don't think we're going at a frenetic pace like we did when Heupel first took over. As long as we don't sub, and that's why I think most of the time we go no huddle. That doesn't allow them to sub, or if they try, then boom, we can get a penalty. So I'm not trying to imply that we don't go fast, Rando, but I don't think we go so fast to the point like we did in 21, 22 that where we need to be getting senseless penalties.
Yeah.
Hey, just a little housekeeping for the chat here. Tennessee is number 1 in total offense. Texas Tech is number 2. Southern Cal is number 3. I don't know who's looking at what, but Tennessee averages 48 points a game. Texas Tech averages 47.5, and Southern Cal averages 45.5. So, sorry.
Right behind them is Kentucky football with 17-ish points a game, if we're lucky. Hey, Juice.
Yes.
Yeah. How many college football teams are 136, something like that?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta be 100 plus. We're triple digits. The educated guess. But Juice, what's your input on the game, man? We're hearing about procedural penalties and whatnot. What's your thoughts?
Man, my biggest thing is I hate to say this, but Alabama probably does have a top three receiving core in the country, and I just feel like if we even try to run man to man against them, it's just going to be a recipe for disaster. I want to see a lot of zone. I really want us to run zone mostly all game, if I'm being honest with you. Ty Redmond, I think he's going to be a great football player for us, but I feel like corner is one of those positions where a lot of it is like mental, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Tim Banks continues to put him in positions. I just feel like he keeps putting him in positions where it's like you're asking way too much out of a 3-star true freshman corner. So offensively, I feel like we're going to be able to keep up, especially those first 2 drives, the scripted drives that they call. But yeah, offensively, I'm not too worried, but defensively, I'm pretty worried, especially because Tim Banks is a very aggressive play caller, and he loves to run man to man, which I just hope we don't run man to man. That's the main thing. Well,
the good news is we got a resident corner on the show. T, what you think about Tim Banks being able to play man zone, mixing it up, confusing Ty Simpson, maybe heating them up. That always helps a corner, right? If we can get pressure in the backfield, and if your front four can close the pocket, then your corners won't have to defend as long, right? So, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, correct. If you're able to get quick pressure, then that big time saves your secondary, which is what we need. You know how I've been on Redmond. I'm with Juice. Like, he's been put in some really, really tough positions, and it will pay off in the long run. I mean, dude is like 6'2", 195 or something as a freshman, which is insane at corner. So down the line, I think he's primed to be a first rounder, but I'm pretty proud of him from what I've seen. Again, tough positions. He's playing in the SEC. You're about to go against some really top tier receivers, but that's what I like about our pass rush, and that's what I was saying about the feast or famine. Like, I'll take some of the famine of our guys getting burnt and stuff, because in the end it's going to happen anyway, because corner is just the hardest position to play physically in all of sports, in my opinion. But if we can counterbalance that a little bit with a couple sacks that get us some quick possessions, with better field position, for some turnovers, that kind of stuff, then I'll take it. But yeah, Redmond's been in some tough positions, but he's out there anyway, so it's going to happen. And it's not like our safety play is super duper strong, whereas if we were to still go zone, they're helping a ton. Although Farouk brings it when he comes to hit, so I'm liking Farouk. But yeah, I'll take it because of what our defense has been giving us in the turnover battle and scoring points and all that. But Redmond has been in some tough spots.
Yeah, we need to turn up that internal clock. We need to speed that up in Simpson's head and get him a little uncomfortable. But when we do pressure, we've got to get home with it, though, because we can't still out blitz and leave those guys out there on an island, because these receivers are too good for that. And speaking of Redmond, that touchdown he gave up against Georgia, and everybody was just like, oh, God, Redmond freshman, where's McCoy? And all that's fine. He couldn't have played that coverage any better. That was just a dime. Like, Gunner dropped that thing exactly where it needed to be, where only his guy could get it or nobody gets it. So I think he's got a lot of unwarranted criticism. I think he's done a hell of a job as a freshman coming in and playing on that island. So, and he'll only get better. I mean, that's the beautiful thing of it. He will just continue, to improve. But yeah, that pressure, when we blitz, we got to get home with it. Otherwise it'd be a long day.
Yeah. The last thing about that pressure, and I was texting Hammer this with at the Arkansas game, that one play where we ran that all out blitz and we had what's their quarterback's name?
Taylor Green.
Yeah. We had Green dead to rights. And I think I mentioned this on the show before. When you're blitzing from the outside, you have to blitz the upfield shoulder, because he blitzed the downfield shoulder and Green just went right around him. Blitz him on the upfield shoulder, force him up into the rest of the pressure. Like, we have to be smart about our angles, and that's where coaching does come in. You got to coach them right and coach in some discipline. But when you're coming in from the outside, got to go upfield shoulder. And I haven't watched enough of Bama. I don't know how mobile Simpson is, but I would assume he's probably mobile enough. So again, when you come in from the outside, blitz the upfield shoulder, force him up into the pocket where hopefully your D tackles or your linebackers are, coming in from the A and B and maybe C gaps.
Yeah, he's not Haynes King, but he's not a statue back there. He's got some mobility.
Yeah, Baker-esque, deceptively
that's
mobile
not a bad
for
comparison. Yeah.
And what Ty can do, not as well as Baker, but like what Ty can do, to your point of not letting him get on the outside, but good quarterbacks who are mobile are able to escape through the A and B gap, right? It's natural just to be able to try to run on the outside of the pocket. So if you set an edge, it's hard. But if you can find it through the A and B gap, especially if you're blitzing and you're playing man on the backside, you got a lot of space, right? So gap integrity and then sealing the edge going to be important. Do you guys send a lot of blitz pressure.
Yeah. We send a lot of safety blitz too. Farouk is he'll creep up and he'll shoot a gap. He and Arian Carter both do that a lot.
And I mean, if you're talking about Bama football, I would say even under DeBoer, right? It's no longer Saban football, but you talk about Bama winning that game is going to start with the trenches, right? You can beat their O-line, which is always going to be phenomenal. Then you've got a shot, right? So, I think the corner play, if you guys are nervous about that, it starts with the D-line. Can you win up front in the trenches? Don't let the run game get going. They're missing their starting running back, it sounds like, so potential benefit for y'all. Even though Bama's just going to have another 5-star come off the bench. I don't know the depth, but they'll have talent. And then don't let Ty Simpson get cooking, because he is much different than he was against Florida State, and how the tide has turned between, no pun intended, between Florida State, how they looked in that game, and how Alabama has responded as they get it in the SEC play. But Juice, before we move from Tennessee, what's your score prediction for the game, brother?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Just one quick thing. Jam Miller actually just now got upgraded to probable, so he could be playing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not good. Final score prediction. Well, I'm going to say 45-35 them.
Bama?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Juice, if you're Bama defensively, how are you attacking us? So what I talk about often is what I like about the makeup of our team is if you try to take our run game away, we have a receiving trio who can get it done. They try to take our pass game away, we have a running back trio who can get it done. So what do you expect Bama to try to take away from us?
Honestly, I don't think. Can you hear me? Honestly, I don't think they're going to be able to take anything away from us. I think, as much as I love Joey, I'm on Twitter every day defending Joey. He can get a little bit reckless with the ball. Honestly, I think it's going to come down. I think it's going to come down to who commits more turnovers. So yeah, I don't think they can really do anything to stop us. I think it's more so, how are we going to stop ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think me and him are right on line with you there. I completely agree about us hurting ourselves.
And also, I gamble a lot, but the good thing about gambling is you get to watch other teams, and I've put a lot of money on Bama games this year. Ty Simpson, statistically, it looks like he takes good care of the ball, but when you get pressure on him, he makes some very questionable throws. So I would like us to get pressure on him, but I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like our D line isn't really getting at home to the quarterback as much as they have the past 2 seasons.
We're the second in the nation in sacks.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just got really spoiled with James Pierce, Omar Norman Lott, that squad we had. But
I definitely think we miss Norman Lott because we're not getting the push inside. I love Bryson Eason, but we're not getting the same push from the inside. I actually think that Tyree West and Joseph's are having pretty good seasons. In fact, Joseph's having a better season than Pierce last year, simply because of all the attention that he garnered, being high profile draft pick, whatnot. But the edge is doing a really good job, and Carter and T-Lander, but we've said it, feast or famine. When we get there, good things happen for us. When we sell out and don't get there, we get burned. And I think that's the danger with this Alabama offense, is because it's incredibly efficient. They just don't turn the ball over. And I mean, you're dead on it, Juice. I think whoever wins the turnover battle wins this game.
Yeah. Another thing that's kind of misleading is where you probably know the correct number, Hammer. I don't, but I know we're pretty up there in terms of tackle for loss too. But we're also giving up 150 plus rushing yards a game. So
right. Yeah, we either stonewall or we're a sieve. There's just very little.
I probably shouldn't
in
have said
between.
I don't. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said I don't feel like we're. I feel like we're not getting like as many. I don't feel like we're getting in the backfield as much as we were, like especially when it comes to stuff in the run game.
Yeah, I think that perception's because of how much we can bleed yards.
Yeah.
Especially in short and intermediate passing, the run game. I mean, like the kid from Arkansas, he talked crap all week, and then all he did was come in there and average 10 yards a carry. So,
yeah,
whatever they saw, they exposed, to a criminal level, like Geneva Convention criminal level. So, and I said this last night on my show that I just have to believe that something changed this week with either scheme or execution, personnel. I don't know what the answer is, but something has to change. Like we can't continue to bleed yards the way we did. Certainly to Arkansas, the way they just gashed us run after run after run. So, I'm kind of leaning into that a little bit, and I know hope's not a plan, but you just got to believe, man, that we're not going to play that poorly 2 weeks in a row.
So to wrap this thing up here, I just did a little. So Google AI tells me Ty Simpson under pressure. He's been pressured 49 times, has only allowed 8 sacks. But Pro Football Focus, who has been under some scrutiny on the NFL side this week, if you pay attention to that, there are a lot of players pissed off at PFF. Let's see, QBR under pressure 47.1, QBR in the pocket 92.4. So, like Juice was saying, questionable decision making or just not able to get the ball where it needs to be if you heat him up a little bit. But Juice, brother, appreciate you coming on, man. We'll definitely get you on here as we get into deeper SEC play, college football playoff, and of course basketball season. We'll chop it up because that's when we'll really be able to talk to you as Kentucky fans. And I think roles going to be switched here. Y'all going to be in your fields, and Kentucky's going to be chasing bitter 9. But we appreciate you, my guy. Have a good one.
We're good in basketball too. So
we'll see. We know we're good. But now it's our turn. Kentucky football. Selena, tell me how we're beating Texas this weekend.
Is that a serious question?
I don't.
Yeah.
Our offense actually has to score the ball. That's how we're beating Texas.
Yes. Yeah.
Our offense actually has to score. I'm not super concerned defensively. I just want our offense to score. And if we can score, like 24-28, we might be able to pull it off. Coach, that's probably right.
All right. So I mean, I've said it a bunch of times. I think this is a winnable game, but history tells me the offense is gonna not be able to play a complete game. And what are we coming off of? What are we coming off of? A bye week. So it's just for whatever reason it's not going to be the plan that should be put in place to beat Texas with an extra week. I don't know. It's not going to be there. And of course all the distractions around Stoops and whatnot aren't going to help either. It's going to be tough to drown that out. But we'll see how it goes. I do think though, this is going to be a very similar game to Georgia, Kentucky, and Lexington last year. Coming off a big win. Texas just beat Oklahoma, so Arch is feeling good. They're feeling like they're back. Texas is back at the top of SEC, and they got some big games coming up, right? So Kentucky's like they're looking at this as the relaxed game. Let's go to Lexington. Let's walk out there with a W. Georgia did the same thing last year. So I think this can be a close game. Last time I saw, Hammer, you can correct me, I think the spread was 12.5. I personally think that's very, very high. I think this ends up being a one-score game. I unfortunately think we're on here Saturday during our happy hour show watching the second half, and we have belief that we're in this ball game, and then it's taken from us like it typically is with some BS, whether we just the offense collapses, something, it's going to be the end of the half drama again. We should be getting 3 or 7 to end the half, and we can't figure it. Something's going to happen where we get severely disappointed because we feel like the game is in our grasp. That's how I feel like this is going to go. If this game gets into the 20s, if we're playing 24-28, I don't think we got a shot. We got to keep this thing to 21-18 type ball game for us to even have a shot in the fourth quarter, in my personal opinion. But speaking of the offense, Selena, 2 weeks ago, we thought we were going to get Bush Hamdan gone, at least new play call. There would be something different. We've heard nothing, right? It seems like nothing has changed. What does Bush Hamdan do? What's his game plan? Where does he go? What do you think changes, if anything at all?
I don't think he doesn't make a game plan, to be fair. I don't have faith in him as a coordinator to put something together. Because a lot of times his in-game decision making has everybody questioning a lot of stuff, like a QB run on 3rd and 10. Why are we doing that for? Right, like why? What was that play call? Right, so I don't.
Surprise. There's element of surprise. Thought we'd catch him off guard, maybe.
I just don't understand a lot of his stuff. I will say this: I hope that he uses our tight ends consistently. I think that could be a good spot for us. Because we have some really big, really good tight ends. And I think if they run short routes, instead of trying to go long ball with some run game, that would be our best option.
Yeah. It's funny, Coach, you say this. Coach, if you could put in the chat what you mean by it, because
he's saying that Stoops calls the plays and not Hamdan.
And I get that, but it's like we if you look at the numbers, we didn't necessarily get away from the run game as much as we thought against South Carolina, and then Georgia just kind of got ugly quick in the second half. But if you look at the numbers, it seemed like we panicked. I think we threw the ball too much in the first half, but really there was still, I think, only 19 or 21 pass attempts by Cutter. So we still ran the ball quite a bit. I'm curious on what Coach means about what do you think Stoops is calling different? Because I would think that's Stoops football. Like Stoops wants to run the rock. He doesn't want Cutter taking shots down the field like he did at the beginning of South Carolina game. Like always, this game, I mean, we could talk about the offense. Yes, that's how you win a football game. That's how you win any game. You score more points than the other team. But similar to the Georgia game, the play that got called back from us, which I think was to JQ. I think he was the one that got the pick 6 that got called back. This is going to have to come down to Brad White, the defense, whether it's a short field that turns into a score or a defensive play that turns into a score. Something's going to have to pick us up to elevate us over Texas or keep this game close. It's going to have to be kind of similar to the South Carolina game on the other side, where their offense really didn't have to do much because their defense created turnovers. And while Arch Manning is getting better each game, and he seems to be understanding Sark's offense, he has shown that if you put pressure on him, he will turn the ball over and he will take sacks. So I think it's going to be massive that we're getting a starting cornerback this game. And we got Nichols on the other side. DJ Waller is supposed to be coming back. And then we can really, really allow the D line to start eating and potentially disrupt some of those plays. but Texas is going to lean on the run game in this game, and we really can't let that get going and let Arch get comfortable in the play action pass. I think Seth McGowan and really Patterson. I was really high on Rico Dowdle. He just doesn't seem to be in the flow. Unfortunately, just when he's in the game, the defense is queuing. It's going to be a run play. It seems that he's not really used anything else. So his yards per carry has decreased as we got into SEC play. But Seth McGowan and his ability to play as a receiver at the backfield as well, he's shown he can. Again, his routes are awkward. They don't look natural, but he's winning one-on-one. And he's got good hands. So for me, it is how can I get our running back, our athletic tight ends, and maybe even a slot receiver like Jamori. I'll keep saying it, but Jamori, Gilmore in the slot. How can we get the middle of the field open? So use our slots, use the tight end and the running back on a linebacker to get them one-on-one to, like you said, short pass plays to get comfortable, but create yards after catch. It seems like everybody agrees.
Yeah, that's
Hammer, tell me why you believe Kentucky wins this game.
You want me to lie?
Yes.
Can we make stuff up?
I do.
Yes, lie Hammer.
Well, it's funny you say Kentucky needs to keep it low scoring to have a chance to win when actually the opposite's true. The last 4 games that have gone over 50 points, Kentucky's 4-0 against the spread. So
when was that though?
Well, yes, you're right. It's probably been a long time since they've been in a game of 50 points.
Yeah, Will Levis ain't coming back.
That wouldn't help either.
Oh no! Will Levis was a guy at Kentucky. And he went to Tennessee. They're making Cam Ward, who I wasn't big on, but I think Tennessee just kills quarterbacks there. But while he was here eating mayonnaise and banana peels, he was a guy.
No, he was not.
What was recommending Tennessee again?
No, he was not.
Okay.
It's a legitimate question.
Against Tennessee?
Yeah.
Not great. Wasn't great.
0-2. That's a little worse than not great.
He should have been undefeated against Ole Miss. Dan Key just gets set, man. He catches that touchdown. We're good. Levis had some big wins, man. I can't hate on old Willie Levi, but sure as hell we ain't scoring 50 against this Texas defense. I'll tell you that right now. So we better find enough
points in this game. Yeah, I think the total's like 41.5. It's come down a couple, 42.5. Excuse me. I don't think we sniffed that because Texas kind of looked like the defense that everybody thought they were to start the season last week, and especially the defensive line. And that's going to cause a lot of problems because, unfortunately, you guys allow about 3.5 sacks a game on average. And Texas is number 10 in the nation in pressure defense. So it's probably going to be a pretty long afternoon for Cutter. And then I just don't know. You said, it's going to be a one-score game. I agree. I think Kentucky gets 1 score in this game. I just don't know how they are going to generate offense and sustain drives against this defense. And I don't think Arch is going to have to do a lot. I think Wisner is probably going to eat. I think Arch will make enough plays to be efficient, but I don't see a blowout. In fact, I know you didn't watch, and that's okay. I'll watch your shows, but whatever. I did include Kentucky in a teaser to cover 19.5 points against Texas. I even threw a little shout out in there for you, Rando.
Hey, if you go back and look, there's a like from Heavy Pour Sports on your YouTube page.
Yeah, I can click a like. I mean, I can do it right now. Click. See how easy that was? I'm just messing.
When I went on Hammer's show and gave him a comment, he didn't say anything to me, and my feelings got hurt. So, what's up, Jay?
That is not the support I look for from UT.
I'm here. I'm trying to comment. I'm giving engagement, all that. I got you. I want some love back. That's all.
I know. I love you, man.
To be fair,
Yeah,
I really don't care about y'all. Don't have to listen. Just subscribe and like, man. Just tease me. Just make me think you're doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Kentucky can keep this game close if they are. They play mistake-free football. I mean, I think that's what it comes down to.
Well, that's not going to happen.
I know. I know that. And, offensive efficiency is just dreadful right now. And that's not piling on, man. I'm just telling you facts.
No, yeah, you're right.
They're just going to have a very difficult time moving the football and sustaining drives in plus territory. If they can figure out a way, if they can crack the code on this defense, they got a shot, because I just don't think Texas is, high powered, high scoring. They're efficient, but they're not. This ain't the Vince Young Texas offense.
No.
So I think
you see Jay's comment. So from a fan perspective, I'm with Jay. I agree, because I hate Florida more. But for college football playoff and all that kind of stuff, a win against Bama would go much further for us. So I'm torn on that one. Beating Bama and losing to Florida helps us postseason wise. Losing to Bama, beating Florida feels better in my heart. But
yeah,
I'd rather I wish we could just feel confident about smoking them both. Yeah.
I don't know. Y'all got to win both, man. If you want to be comfortable about college football playoff, you got to win both, just because you don't know if the committee's only going to put one ACC team in if Georgia Tech stays undefeated and only loses in the conference. Are they only going to put one West Coast team? I think you're good. You got at least 3 SEC teams: SEC champion, the runner-up, and then probably 1, 2, maybe 3 loss team. But with Ole Miss being undefeated and losing to Georgia, if Georgia goes and wins that game against Ole Miss, then maybe you got a little bit more wiggle room. But if they lose, Ole Miss stays undefeated. Now Georgia only has 2 losses. I don't think you guys can afford to have 3 losses with the rest of the SEC landscape.
I agree about 3 losses. Got 10-2 at worst.
10-2 gets us in if those 2 are a 3-point loss to Georgia and a within 1 score loss to either Bama or Florida. Beating Bama, T's 100% right. Beating Bama is going to look much better than losing to Florida, just because of the issues we've had playing, and in both these buildings. I mean, let's be honest, we hadn't won in either building over 20 years. So beating a higher ranked Bama versus losing to Florida in the swamp with Billy trying to save his job, that 10-2 looks a lot better, because this is a flashy offense. CFP is going to love that. It's going to look good on television. They know Tennessee travels, so if we get screwed again and have to go somewhere on the road the first week, that's fine. But even if we play at home, win, and travel the second week, they know we travel. So Tennessee's good for TV, for college football. So the right 10-2 record gets us in, no matter what everybody else does.
Yeah, agreed.
Later, Jay. Thanks for stopping by.
To button up the Kentucky-Texas game, I just looked at the availability report. They are down 2 starting O linemen, it looks like, not expected to play. Now, again, just like I said with Bama's running back situation, they'll have 2 more jump in, but maybe the experience, our D-line is experienced between transfers and guys that have been there. Our linebacker safety play, Afari, is playing great. So maybe that allows us to put a little bit of pressure on Arch and not let the run game get going.
If you get Arch seeing ghosts or hearing the boogeyman, you can keep it real low scoring and be in this thing. I do believe that. Yeah,
I think we could be in it. Again, I just I got too much scar tissue about, hey, we're in it, and then all of a sudden it collapses and we're not. You'll laugh at it, but I mean, if you go back through the first 3 quarters of the Tennessee game last year, that Kentucky team had no business being even within striking distance of Tennessee, and we were. And then all of a sudden, the fourth quarter, you all blew it out of the water, and it was like this game. If you would have turned the game on in the fourth quarter, like, oh, this was a blowout all the way through. That switch flipped super fast, and it's just there's too much of that happening where we can give body blows, but once we take one shot to the face and get rattled a little bit, the team crumbles. Whether it's the play calling, that locker room leadership, that someone would be like, "Hey, we're good. Like, we took a punch, get back up and keep playing ball." That doesn't seem to be there. Getting through adversity with this team doesn't seem to be there. But if Lexington can get loud,
especially after a bye week,
yeah. But I mean, we've been, or at least Selena and I, we've been in that arena, or I'm sorry, in the stadium, in a fourth quarter of a close game, and that place gets rocking, and the light show's going off, and everybody, Grove Street's playing. Like, it is a good time, and if we can keep it close, and like you said, the crowd can have an effect. We'll see how it goes.
If the crowd shows up, though,
I think they will. So I think this is probably the last game we see them there. I think the Tennessee game could be a lot of orange. I think there could be a lot of orange for that Kentucky game, depending on, especially if Texas goes how all of us seem to think, the opposite of like, hey, Kentucky's going to lose, but maybe it's close. Maybe you got a puncher's chance of keeping this thing close into the fourth quarter. If this is like ugly, Tennessee, there won't be a fan base there at all outside of, fire stoops with brown bags over their heads type fans. But because Texas' first game ever in Lexington against this opponent, I think people have bought tickets for this game well before the same old Kentucky football has from the last 3 years has shown up. I think they bought tickets and they decide, hey, I'm going to be there for this game. We made travel plans, and you're not getting out of them. It's not like you can sell these tickets for a lot of money and get your money back, right? So you're going to that game and enjoying yourself and hoping for the best. Similar to what I did for Georgia last year when I bought those tickets beginning of the season and then looked at what they actually were worth after they lost to South Carolina. I was like, oh, no, I should have waited. Man. They were like a third the price. So I think Kentucky fans will be there for this game. Potentially, this is the very, very last game that we see Crow packed out with blue. We shall see. I'm going to say this is I'm going to say 17-24 ball game. I think it's close in the fourth quarter, and then defense, per usual, has gotten tired from playing their asses off for 3.5 quarters. And then Tennessee's able to go down, drive the length of the field, and kind of put this thing away. And unfortunately, our offense has shown they can't respond. So that's kind of how I think it's going to go. Kentucky covers, but unfortunately, they lose. Selena, what do you think? Give it to me straight.
If our defense can pressure Manning, then I think it's like 20-17, 21-14 type of deal. If they don't pressure, he gets comfortable. I think it can get ugly. I don't see us score above 17. Like, I don't see us going above 17. I wish, but I don't think so. If he gets comfortable and can start running the offense and stuff, I think they're more likely like 34-17. I think
Selena's just trying to hold on till basketball season starts for real.
We all just trying to hold on.
No, hey,
let's talk hoop, man.
I have been checked out of football since the season started. You know this.
I know.
Basketball, though, listen.
But in fairness, me and him are both feel y'all's pain because we had some dark years with Derek Dooley, Butch Jones, and Jeremy Pruitt. We had some dark years, but we're not, we're not pigeonholed in on one thing.
You weren't bottom of the barrel dark though, were you?
With Dooley, the Hammer, I mean, we were pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think there was still an expectation that we beat Vandy and Kentucky, but outside of that, that was about it. We were pretty bad. Dooley and his stupid orange pants. My whole point is I get it. And unfortunately we still had to rock our orange proudly. And
it's just so hard to be optimistic when you know how bad the product is. Like, it's so hard to be like, yeah, we're gonna be so good, and be like, no, we're dog water.
It ain't hard for Rando. Rando does it to himself every year, and he even
Rando breaks his own heart. Okay,
he
breaks his own heart
He
every
does.
single year. We even tried to tell him. We tried to warn him to not drink the Kool-Aid, and all it took was those stupid backpacks at media day, and he was like, "Woo!"
Yeah, that's right. That's what convinced him that Kentucky was going to be good at
media day. He was
football.
like, "So
I've had backpacks."
Hey, those were dope though. Those were fire. But that's okay. All I'm doing is pulling out my diploma. I think I might have some old USF football stuff. I'm just gonna pull it out and be like, hey, my team's getting to the playoff potentially. All right, I'm gonna be that guy. Like, I'm gonna pull out the old chants. Bulls, I'm gonna do the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be a bull again during the college football playoff if they get in there.
Backpacks was Kentucky's NIL football budget.
Yeah, no shit, you're right. Oh man,
that's right, Coach.
Yep. But this stat right here is that Coach put out there. When Tennessee beats Kentucky, they're going to have as many wins in Kroger over the last 4 years that UK does in 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Stoops
insane.
Is 2-15 SEC games.
How does he? Yeah. How does he survive this season if that's the case? If he doesn't get an SEC home win this season, how does he survive? How does he survive?
The $30 million buyout's how he survives at Rando.
I get it, but look what. All right, it's going to kick you off.
I get what you're saying. Believe me, I completely understand.
But look at my coach right here. Look at that. He's flexing on $22 million, and he's only been here for a year. If you get the right guy in here, the money will be there, right? We got money, clearly. We just can't get it to Scoops because he's trash.
Yeah, it's that net 30 clause though that's killing him or killing you.
Oh, you mean in 60 days?
Or excuse me, 60. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mitch did a great job about that. I just don't know. Like, even I get it that it's money that you want to be paid in 60 days, and you feel like Stoops that you earned it. You signed the contract, $36 million within 2 months. But at some point, I mean, it doesn't have to be taxing where you making a negotiation, or maybe Virginia Tech is real, and you're like, I really don't enjoy coming to work every day with 95% of the fan base telling me that I suck at my job, and like you're gonna age over the next 4 years like you're a presidential candidate, or like just like in the Oval Office, because it just everybody hates you. It's like, dude, get it over long term, or go, maybe get out of the buyout and go find another job, make some money, collect your paycheck over the next 5 years, whatever it is that you can negotiate. At some point, it does seem like, all right, man, like it's worth me just finding a way to negotiate something so I can get out of here and enjoy my money. Because right now you're getting paid $9 million a year to like legit, come into work, punch a time clock every day, and just be like, oh my God, like I gotta go on my radio show, I gotta do all this craziness. Like just go, man. Like, it ain't working anymore. You gotta go.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, the flip side though, knowing they got to pay me to leave, makes it a little easier to get through the day if I'm Mark Stoops.
That's a great point, and that's what we're potentially seeing right now is go back a couple, maybe a month now, to whenever the Canelo Crawford fight was. I identified Canelo stopped being a great boxer when he got paid $500 million from DAZN, right? He stopped taking hard fights, and even the easy fights he was taking, he was losing. So, Stoops, you can look at the opponents. You can say, hey, he rode a couple highs or lows in the SEC, whatever, but he still had a couple 10-2 seasons. And he parlayed that into this contract. And then all of a sudden, it's like, which I don't have to do a lot right now. Especially I don't have to transition to the NIL era. I don't have to understand how all this works because I'm going to get paid regardless. We're potentially seeing that right now, and we're seeing a dude like Selena said last week. He just doesn't care, right? So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I would hate to be in that position, but I'm also never going to see $36 million in my life, more than likely. So, if someone said, "Hey, you're getting that check no matter what,"
send Jackson to the league, man.
Well, I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. He is my retirement plan A and B. So, but yeah, that's potentially what it is that we're seeing right now is a dude who's like, hey, I got my money, man. So y'all hate me if you want to. I will be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we see it in, professional sports too. They play great the first few years, get off that rookie contract, get a big bag, and then they just go through the motions. So, and if they were winning or, even at 500 at this point in the season, you could think, I'll give it a shot. Maybe we can, win a couple more, steal one from somebody, go to a pretty decent bowl game, that kind of thing. No, he has no incentive, no motivation whatsoever to be successful at this point.
Yeah, and if he finds a way to luck into 5 and 6, I think he probably keeps his job. I don't think Mitch Barnhart has the cojones to pull the trigger, even though he knows he should. Like that's not something we should be okay with. Even 500, not something we should be okay with. But I don't know that he actually pulls the trigger at that point. But as we kind of wrap up the show, we'll talk about a couple other big games. Georgia, Ole Miss. Didn't expect this to be as big of a game as it is now at the beginning of the season. Truly didn't think Ole Miss was going to be undefeated at this point in the season because that's just kind of what they do, right? That's what Lane Kiffin does. He finds a way to lose a game he shouldn't. Almost did against Washington State. You definitely saw they were in that trap game. They were looking ahead to Georgia. But how do we think that game plays out? Does Georgia step up? Because if they play like they have been the last couple weeks, I think they lose this game. If they can elevate and Gunnar Stoddard can elevate and their defense can actually learn how to stop the run, then I think they got a shot.
Well, y'all played them tough, right? I mean, because I think it was us two doing the watch along. So even though Kentucky didn't win, they kind of give you the blueprint for what you need to do. And we know Kirby's a good coach, so he'll probably go back. And I don't even remember what y'all did, honestly, to make it close. I just remember it being competitive. So, I mean, Georgia ought to win. Plus, I don't like Lane Kiffin, so I always want him to lose anyway. But just where's the game?
It's in Athens.
Yeah, and they're between the hedges, so that Georgia's got a great environment, particularly right now when they're so good. So I think he's got the blueprint. I think he's got the environment on his side. I would lean over to Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia's 15-0 in its last 15 home games. They're 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 against ranked teams. I just don't think Georgia's going to control the tempo and the pace, and nobody makes better second half adjustments right now than Kirby Smart. So regardless of what might happen in the first half, and Chambliss he looks like the real deal. It's not going to matter. No matter what they do first half, Kirby's going to flip it on them second half. Georgia will win that game.
I know Lane Kiffin the starter at the beginning of the season, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, so Lane gave him the keys and over to him, but he wasn't even the guy that he trusted at the beginning of the season. So yeah. I mean, he's coming on and he's playing well, but that tells us at least
who was the cat that we played? Because he turned the ball over twice. He put the ball in dangerous situations.
Yeah. Ole Miss was a 10-point favorite in that game with y'all, and y'all got that field goal late.
Yeah,
backdoor cover.
I mean, shoot, we give me start on that. Another game we should have won.
Was it Simmons? Halftime. Was his name Simmons?
Austin Simmons, is that his name?
Yeah, Austin Simmons. I had to Google it, but
he was not all he was advertised to be. This Chambliss kid, he should have probably been starting the whole season, and I would have won that bet.
Yeah, potentially. And And then what we got? LSU Vandy on the docket, right? I understand Vandy is new Vandy now, but LSU cannot lose to Vandy right now, and Kelly keep that job, right? I mean, like with the money they spent on this team and getting dadgummit, what's the quarterback's name?
Nussmeier.
Nussmeier, thank you. It can't happen, right? Like LSU's got to find a way to win this ball game, and if they don't, I think it gets loud down there in the bayou.
Where's it at?
It's in Vandy, right?
It's in Nashville.
Nashville, yeah.
Yep.
But I don't think it matters. I don't think LSU fans care whatsoever.
Well, LSU fans might not care, yeah, but I don't know. Vandy, I don't know. They're a little different this year.
Oh yeah, I mean for sure. Like I think that you got to talk about them as like a true contender, which is crazy. Both of them are sitting 5-1. But I mean LSU is 2.5 to 3-point underdog, depending on where you're looking at. It's one of those 12 o'clock kickoff games, so all the weird stuff happens early afternoon, you know. I don't know. This would be a massive win for Vandy, yes. I just think and they're capable of it. I'm not saying that. I just think the LSU fans start ripping apart the program if they lose this game to Vandy.
Yeah, and I think LSU's defensive line and even front seven, they generate a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and I'm not sold anything offensively with LSU, but that defense is pretty stout, and I think it's gonna be a rock fight. I think there's a pretty good chance this game stays under 50 points.
Well, because I mean, look, if they don't beat Vandy, they get Texas A&M at home. A&M looks like a very, very good football team.
They won't beat A&M.
They won't beat A&M, and then they got to go to Bama and win that game. So they could have if they lose to Vandy, they could be a 4-loss team and be completely out, done.
Yep. And that would Kelly's fate, I believe.
Yeah. So I think again, you got to win this game to get yourself some grace, because you probably lose to A&M, and then going to Bama. That's a tough game. Then you have Arkansas, Western Kentucky, and then you close out with Oklahoma, which again, you're at Oklahoma. So if their QB is back healthy again, who knows what that game looks like. But yeah, that's a gauntlet way to end the schedule. And if you lose to Vandy on the road, it's going to be tough to close out and get yourself in the playoff.
Yeah.
Possibility for them. It is.
Yeah, what'd you say?
It's a possibility for them to lose it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, whoever controls the line of scrimmage in this game wins it.
Yeah, and then A&M's at Arkansas should be a pretty easy win for them. I think we'll talk about this one for Coach. Other big game, and it's talking about it's Notre Dame's fate in the college football playoff too. Is USC Notre Dame in South Bend. Notre Dame is a 9.5-point favorite. Seems like a lot to me.
A lot. Of
what do you think, Hammer?
It's a lot of points.
That's a lot of points,
especially with a team in Notre Dame that gave up 41 to Texas A&M at home.
And a USC, if there's anything they can do, is offense, right? That they can score points. They normally can't play defense real good, but they know how to score the football.
Yeah, they're the third highest scoring offense in college football, and unfortunately, Coach, love you, man, but this is not a typical Notre Dame defense that we've seen carry them to to national championship contention and playoffs. This Notre Dame defense has taken a little bit of a step back, and I think I'm not calling USC to win outright, but I would and have bet that they cover this number. 10 points. That's too much. It's too much.
Yeah. I agree. I do think Notre Dame wins at home. It's another game. USC's got to travel, halfway across the country to play in, and I don't have a lot of faith in that head ball coach. But I do think it's a tight game, and you're looking at a 3 to 7 point game max, with Notre Dame having to probably make some sort of second half pull away to really win this ball game. This one stays close in the first half, I think.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game. There was 81 points scored in the Notre Dame A&M game. I think we could see something pretty similar to that on Saturday.
Yeah, and the only big other matchup is the Holy War, and I got to be honest, I know BYU's got a freshman quarterback who's been slinging it, and Utah has looked very good. They normally are. They actually have an offense this year, which to match a pretty good defense, but I don't really know much about that other than it's the Holy War game, and I don't know if the winner, gets extra soaking time. I guess maybe I'm not really sure how that goes.
I think that's exactly what it is. Utah.
Yeah, I think Utah wins the game. I think
Utah's the play.
Yeah, Utah. I agree there.
Bear meets his match, and you're 100% right on that, Coach.
What did he say?
CJ Carr is a future Heisman winner.
Yeah,
that kid's he's special. He's really good.
But I think we know what coaches would respond to. It's a thing. I don't know why it is what it is. What is we close out the episode, Hammers, a lock and loaded play. We're telling you this is your money, you're gambling if you're listening. But Hammers, locked and loaded play of the weekend.
Well, I had the Bengals and I had ECU both covering, and
Joe Flacco.
I tried to tell all these Pittsburgh people.
100%. Can't count him out.
Yep. I'm going to look real quick and see what.
Jamar Chase got me 30 fantasy points.
Yeah, Chase. Nobody's happier to see Joe Flacco in Cincinnati than Jamar Chase.
Yep.
I do like Indiana. It's a lot of points, but I think the show continues. I also like Texas Tech. And I actually, if Coach is still here, I actually like his Cardinals against Miami this week. I think they can cover. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they can hang. That defense is pretty good. These are going to be two really, really good defenses going at each other, and I think Louisville can kind of hang in there. So I don't know if there's anything such as a lock. I hate using that word because it can bite you. And I also like Iowa.
Remember when we thought that game was going to be important? Penn State, Iowa was going to be like an important. Now it's just a trash game.
Yeah, Iowa has found a quarterback, and their offense has a pulse, and they are super dangerous. And I think Penn State. Honestly, I think everybody's just quitting on the season because we can criticize Franklin all we want, but his players really loved him. Like they really like playing for the guy, and I think it is an absolute they are just dead weight right now, floating down a river. I don't think the players care. I think they're all expecting to transfer at the end of this season, and I just don't think they're going to show up and play. So if there's anything I like as a lock, I don't think we get a coach bump here. I think we get a stomping here, and I think Iowa handles their business with Penn State.
Are there odds out there already about who the next Penn State coach is going to be?
I'm sure there are, because they typically will post those before the coach is even fired, which is insane. But
yeah,
that does happen from time to time.
Signetti
We know who it's not going to be.
Yeah.
That contract's like NAR.
That tells me 100% that there was an offer from Penn State, or like agents were talking that, like for them to make that. He definitely earned it in 2 years, but Penn State was definitely sniffing around. But that means it's got to be rule, right? I mean, that makes the most sense right now at the moment.
Either him or Golish.
Maybe.
Man, he's coming to Kentucky. Don't talk about him going to Penn State.
That'd be great if Golish went to Penn State. That would be well deserved.
Coach Evans likes the guy from Duke, Manny Diaz.
Yeah.
That would be like, what, 2 coaches in 4 years that they've lost?
Yeah, they lost Elko.
Elko went to
yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, Penn State, I mean, they're just they don't have to pay, I think, paid out over 5 years, but $50 million to find overnight. Be like, my guy, you're going. Unfortunately, probably had to be the move though. Like the expectations there are too high, and they're putting too much money into that thing.
Side note, real quick, Nico and UCLA have a path to the Big Ten championship.
Really? That just tells you what the Big Ten is right now.
Yeah, exactly. They got like 2 good teams, and the rest of the conference is garbage.
Texas, Kentucky has now grown to 13.5 on ESPN Bet. You got to take that. The total's 43.5. I don't know what the parlay is to take the 13.5 and the under. But if they let me gamble out here in California, I would 100% do that. And then I'm really surprised Georgia Tech is a 1.5 point dog at Duke. And you can get them money line, even money. I would take that. That would be my play. I'm big on King, and I really like this Georgia Tech team. So if I can get even money on an undefeated team to go to Duke and win, I'm taking that all day.
Yeah, I like the over in that game as well. I think 61 points is going to be light.
Yeah. Both offenses can score, and Georgia Tech is just they have multiple ways to score, and their defense. I don't know if they're ranked, but just watching them have stepped up in big games too. But we big week 8 college football. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and then we roll right into the NFL Sunday, which is gonna be a battle of just ugly teams for me. Dolphins and Browns, competing for probably top 5 worst teams in the league right now, and Miami probably ends up losing the game and winning the battle for worst team. But excited for college ball. Looking forward to coming on here Saturday and probably catching the at least late third quarter, fourth quarter of the Kentucky-Texas game live with y'all, and seeing how my heart is going to get broken once again.
Well, at least it'll be over early, so you can,
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be heavy pouring. Happy hour probably will start early.
Yeah, so I was going to say you get some extra pours in there, so we put you out of your misery.
For sure. But hey, that's another good one. Really appreciate y'all coming on late night. We definitely killed our 1 hour timeline here, but we got the conversation.
I'm tired, y'all.
Hey, I don't know, Hammer, you got off tomorrow?
No, I've got a special project I've got to do Friday and Saturday this week, so I will be cranking at 4 a.m.
Gross. Well, enjoy that one. I also will be up at 4 a.m., but it's only it's only 9 o'clock out here on the left coast.
I'll have half a day's work done by the time you get up.
Yeah, you're right. We'll see y'all Saturday. Appreciate it. If you're watching the show, if you like it, Heavy Pour Sports on YouTube, please subscribe. You got the Hammer Show on there. Tell them where to find that, Hammer.
You can find me, Irish Hammer 71. Podcast is on YouTube. It's called Dropping the Hammer. And then there's also a podcast page on Twitter. It's DTH Podcast, Dropping the Hammer Podcast. So would love anybody to subscribe, follow everybody back. I don't care who you pull for, even if it's Florida. Just love to chat chop it up, make fun of each other, whatever. Doesn't matter.
It's always a good time. And, of course, my All-UK Ball teammate, it's getting basketball season's right there. Our time is coming. Our time is coming, and we're excited about it. Exhibition game, blue and white game is Friday. Exhibition games next week against Purdue. We're really going to see how this team looks. Really curious to see how much playing time Otega Oweh gets. We'll definitely talk about that game as we get into next week. And then T, my guy, appreciate you. You fought through the technical difficulties today. We got you on here, brother.
Yeah, per usual, when I got to go through technical difficulties, I break out in a cold sweat. But we got through it. So,
all right, y'all. I appreciate it. All UK Ball, KY Sax, Irish Hammer, and T Step signing off. We appreciate it.